All right, boys. Boys, boys, boys. Offensively offensive back for the second week here in prime time. We have been promoted from the CW network to ESPN Saturday night. Feels good. It's not a shot at the Pac-12, even though it feels like it, but we are back in the primetime spot. What's going on, guys?
Hey, Pac-12 after dark, we're back, baby. No, I wish. Hopefully we get back next year, right, with the new version of the Pac-12. But yeah, things are going good. Things are going good. They could be better. I think this might be a negative pod. Um, but hey, first time negative pod of the year, and we're in game 17. So we're heading into game 17. Not too bad.
Negative pod, but not like negative pod.
Oh no, this is
there's
not
some
a
fun
lose
numbers.
pod.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna lose, yeah, like
No. We got to get better at this, though, because there's a lot of people that have probably not listened to us as religiously as I know we have thousands and thousands of listeners.
we're like the number 8 podcast right now in Central Iowa. Like this is a big deal.
Yes. And the number one podcast in my house in Texas, too. So I think that should count for something. But as always, Sean D, along with Thom Turner and Nate Schuster, we're here to break down the Kansas Iowa State game from earlier this week, look ahead to Cincinnati, and kind of talk about everything in between. Not the best basketball I've seen Iowa State play in my life, if I'm being totally honest. I know that's kind of a hot take, but I have seen them play better. I don't know if we just want to start there or what. Thom was at the game. Nate had his eyeballs almost scratched out in the middle of it. I wish mine almost were scratched out in the middle of it. So we'll just start there. Thom, how was your trip to Lawrence?
Again, like easy drive from Kansas City. I've done this back-to-back years now. Fog Allen's a great atmosphere. I love the place. Sound system A+. Parking is doo-doo. D- parking. I got snubbed so many times. I don't want to park in a fraternity for $20. I don't trust them. So instead, I have to go down the street and I pay $35. Like, it's ridiculous. Last year, I snuck away. I got in for free for parking anyways. This year, couldn't risk it. Just too many ops. But game sucked too. If we want to, the game sucked too.
What's the park? Why is the parking bad? I don't get it. Do they not have
So
just like forever?
They have the way they made it sound. When I got there, I asked one of the cops that was working one of the roads. I was just like, "What is the easiest like parking for a visitor?" And he said lot 9 or lot 90. And he's like, "You just go down, turn right by Fog Allen. You'll go down and you'll see everybody else." And I go, "Fuck, everybody else." But so I went down there, and then there's just hundreds of cars. So, and that took forever. I got there maybe 7:20, didn't get out of my car till 7:48. So that was just insane. And then you got to jog a little bit, but everybody's good vibes there. Like Kansas, like everybody that goes to Fog Allen, since it's not like a ginormous arena, like they're all ball knowers. They understand the game for the most part. And all of them were like nice, not crazy. Everybody was also hustling into the game. Everybody else hates parking.
Is that so? That's what you bonded over? Is the parking situation? You sat down, you look at the guy to your right, and he eyes you with your gear on, and you're just like, "Hey, God, this parking." And the guy goes, "Tell me about it."
One guy said,
then he offered you a beer.
I wish, but one guy said it goes up every single year, I swear. And I like looked at him because I was like, I feel this. And then he like I thought he gave me a nod, but I wasn't sure. But this was also at the point I'm like, oh, we're gonna whoop you guys. I gotta focus on the game. I was wrong.
Did you go by yourself?
Yeah, I did. I was gonna go with the buddy. He got caught working, and I was like, still gotta rip it. I thought we had a chance. It is what it is.
Wait. When did a chance for him to come or a chance to win the game? Because
no, like we were. I mean, it was a classic 23-year-old buddies. Like last minute, we brought it up and we're like, "Oh yeah, this will work." And then he goes, "Oh, I have a meeting. It's not gonna end up working out because he's down in Maryville, Missouri, and that's like an hour 45, hour and a half instead of my like 40 minutes." Mm-hmm. So that didn't work out too great. Solo mission.
What is that your first time you've been to a game solo?
I went to Fog Allen last year solo. The exact same scenario happened with a different friend. couldn't get off of work, except he worked in Lawrence. So again, I just think he didn't want to go to the game, which is fair.
Tell him to fucking show up next time. I might win. Jesus. Like,
I think he was scared though because he's a Kansas fan and he just didn't want to go because he does not like Iowa State. So I was like, maybe he just.
Tommy's got no guts for his team then. If he can't go watch them beat our ass at home, Jesus.
Those are the only 2 times though.
Sorry, Sean.
Well, actually, yeah, those are the only 2 times.
No, but listen, it's starting to feel like a you problem, not a.
It might be. It might be. I will be fair. Like, as a visiting fan, in my eyes, I'm very respectful. I said 3 words out loud the entire game.
I mean, what
3 words?
Fuck.
No, the first intro video, I go, damn, because it like blew my ears out. Jefferson's block off the backboard, I go, yeah, and I stand up. And then Heisey 3, I yelled, bang. Those are the only words I said in the entire game. I'm kind of proud about it, but it is what it is.
Did anyone mention the Stache?
No.
Okay.
Enemy territory. We're focused on the game. Everybody was.
Okay. What were your so what's the actual arena like? Like, what's the in-game experience like?
I mean, it's great. Fans are involved. Student section's like pretty big, but like there's still a lot of the older crowd there that is very excited. They know what's up. Number 2 team in the nation coming in. They knew this was like kind of a must-win game. Atmosphere is great, like I said. Sound system crazy.
Would you call it their Super Bowl?
This game, yeah, I think I would. But they have this thing with Melvin Council. They just bark like a dog whenever his name is introduced or he scores. Everybody does it, not just the students. Everybody does it. So that's kind of electric. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a great atmosphere. They all bow down to self when he walks through the tunnel to start the game. I would. Yeah. But no, it's a great experience.
Nate, what was it like being on the bench when you were down there? What did you notice?
I would even just say in the warm-ups, like there's a buzz that is unique there. It feels like, it probably seats 18 to 20,000 people.
No way. No.
I think it's less than that. I think it's like 14.
I thought it was really high. I thought it was a really high, or my off with my thinking it's Texas Tech. But one of them's whatever, scratch that. But there's a buzz when you see the student section when you walk out of the tunnel, because you walk out of the tunnel, it says, beware all who enter, pay heed to fog, or pay heed all who enter, beware of fog. And the first time I walked out to Allen Fieldhouse, I was listening to Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin. So like I was already kind of having like a moment, like fucking great song. And then you're walking out and it's like, and I'm like, this is crazy. And you see like Wilt Chamberlain on this number 13, middle of the rafters, and they got 5 titles, and you're damn. But the loud is real. The loud is real there. You could tell early on in the game that the loud was real. First 4 minutes, I thought. I don't know how it was for you, Tom, if you couldn't hear yourself think. But you're playing with hand signals. I mean, there was points in the game my freshman year where I thought we were going to win the game. We had a really good team, and we were up. And we had a 3-on-1 at the end of the game. LeGerald Vick ended up with an alley-oop dunk, and the place was up in arms. If you're going to lose a game as a team in Iowa State's position with a potential 1 seed, I think that's realistic. This is the game you want to lose. Like, if you're going to lose one, nobody's going to give you a blemish for losing at Allen Fieldhouse. So I think overall, like I'm getting ahead of myself, but the overall feeling of Allen Fieldhouse is it does feel like there's ghosts there in a way. And the team does feel like you're playing with 6. It's a really congested feel width-wise on the court, so I think that can cause a lot of turnovers, which is what we end up seeing.
Didn't we get moved down though as a result? Lunardi was like, lost at Kansas, like 2 lines.
He also didn't involve the 5th overall seed. It went Iowa State was 6, and then 3 teams were tied for 7. Like he
We know he stinks.
Yeah,
we know
it was tough to take that seriously, especially when you compare it to the Michigan loss at home. Though it was closer, like if you're comparing Wisconsin and Kansas, we can go ahead and do that if you want.
Yeah, like Wisconsin does not have a Darren Peterson. Like, let's be real. Like Kansas with Darren Peterson is an Elite Eight team. That's an Elite Eight team. Like that they're 12-5, and I think they probably beat UConn with him. They almost beat UConn at home.
I don't think they're an Elite Eight team, but I think they're very good. How about that?
If they play like they played, I think we're a Final Four team, and they just beat the hell out of us.
Fair. Can't argue with that. Game wise, Iowa State loses by 21. I don't think there were many bright spots. I'm curious. I went back and rewatched the first 4 to 6 minutes because obviously it's like, I don't know if you guys play golf, but you ever seen the videos? It's like, here's where things went wrong, and it's the guy's backswing going back a fraction of an inch. Like that's what it felt like going back to rewatch the game. I'm like, where did things go wrong? And like the ref throws the ball up. That's what I was thinking. So I was charting the beginning part of the game because I was curious about the looks that Kansas was getting versus what we were doing. Because it just felt like, again, we've beat this thing to a pulp about the slow starts. Like this was not an exception again this week. Terribly slow start. So, but I was curious about the looks Kansas was getting because they seemingly were able to do whatever they wanted on the offensive end, which obviously is not normal for us. Usually our defense is better than that. I was most curious about the position of where they were shooting and if they're able to get to the middle floor. Because my thought was, what do we call our defense? Is it the yes middle defense or the no middle defense class?
The no middle defense.
No middle. Thank you.
Didn't seem like it.
Okay, so I knew that because I was like, there's no way. Ball pressure, bad off the get-go. The first 3 shots that Kansas took, middle of the floor, paint, and then a dunk. So start for 3 for 3. They miss a middle of the floor pass to a wide open 3, bricked. The second one is an alley-oop. And then you've got 2 missed 3s in a row and a missed long corner 3. So it's 8-3 after the first 4 minutes. Iowa State, meanwhile, has 4 timeouts in the first 4 minutes. 4 turnovers, 4 turnover per minute. So what do you think is going to happen after that? Like, we couldn't even generate any good looks. So Buchanan had a terrible ISO post-up to start the game, which, like, bad vibes immediately. Like, if you go back and rewatch that play, I'm like, what are you doing?
I wonder Yeah, you go first.
I think overall Kansas's bigs are a bad matchup for Iowa State.
Yes.
Like if there's anything we learned is that's how this team that's where this team has a weakness is when you have 2 dominant rim protecting posts like that. I mean, Badunga looked like he could play in the NBA yesterday. Like that was 10, 7, and 4, and he had 2 he had 6 stocks out of a center. Like,
yep.
Give him Defensive Player of the Year. Like, that's that caliber of performance. So we struggled with their vertical ability. They played above the rim. We didn't. That's what it felt like.
I'm going to jump ahead just real quick. Flory had that possession in the second half where I think we got it. It was when it was about 13. It wasn't when we got it down to 11. It was like 13. We blitzed the ball handler. Flory stowed the ball, dribbled through Lipsy twice, and dunked it just right through the lane. And I was just like, this guy. Because I said it after the game. I said it in real time. I'll say it right now. I feel like the fan base and even maybe the coaching staff needs to apologize to Flory because it felt like they didn't take him seriously. Because the very first possession, we're just going to give Buchanan the ball down low and we're going to go to work. And I kind of respect that in the fact if you're Flory's been in foul trouble all season. So if you're going at him, trying to make him work, very first possession of the game, I respect that. I get that. But then at the same time, you're going in Fog Allen, your very first possession is a 0 burger. Not great.
Well, not even it's not even a good look. Like it's not even a high percentage.
That's not the strength of our team. Like, yeah.
Not even a back cut. Couldn't even sniff one either.
Like there's a lot of uncharacteristically sloppy things about the way we played offense, especially in the first half. Like Torrey taking a step back 3 at one point after guys are leaving him wide open. I just thought it was just very out of character. Like you had Lipsy passing up open 3s. Like Kansas did a really excellent job of ensuring that the right Iowa State guys for them were taking threes. Like that needs to be talked about more because Milan didn't even take a shot until the 11-minute mark of the first half. Cannot happen.
His threes were really deep too for him because it always seems he's looking to kind of get his feet right up to the line. He's not a guy that's shooting 2-3 feet behind the arc. Like that is a great point. They dictated on defense, and that's usually us doing that. So kind of scary to see the shoe on the other foot there.
If I'm anyone, and then we've got Cincinnati coming up, who's an even better defense than Kansas. Yeah. So. Their game plan, excellent. Nothing you expect nothing less.
I want to watch like more in-depthly Kansas games going forward, especially at home, because I thought I noticed something, and maybe I could go back and rewatch the TCU game because I thought it happened there to start. But it seems like they give a little extra more room than they should at the beginning of possessions for a Taman or for a Jefferson to be like, oh, hey, I'm open. Let me shoot the ball with 25 seconds left on the shot clock. Because Bill Self is looking at, hey, you lose your possession right there at our place, and now we got the ball and we're running. Like, that's so brilliant if that's a real thing. And I'm gonna look for it even more. Like when they play Houston and like Fleming's, like if they give them open looks, consistent, like because TCU did it, but they knocked it down the first half. Now, late in the second half, they didn't, and then they kind of went away from it, and then Kansas started clamping up there in overtime as well. But I'm like, this is just so smart. Like, Torrey took one early, too, and I was just like, Jefferson has so many, like, almost travels because he wanted to shoot, and he's like, no, I can't do this. So, just brilliant job once again.
They were almost doing that in transition. Like, you could almost see it in transition. Like, there was some Jefferson ones where he would drive, get to the left hand, get to a spin move, and lose it. Because they ended up collapsing because they wanted him to do it. Like they were playing for him to make that decision. Like it's almost like he is doing that. That's insane. Like
so the dig off of Jefferson, I thought was also a huge piece of the reason our offense was so terrible in the first half and the reason that he was a turnover machine. Because
they're all live. They're all live too. Like
yeah. And so I think points off turnover. I'm trying to see. That's Iowa State only had 4. But beyond that, Kansas had 17. So, I mean, we're not going to win games if we're losing the points off turnover battle by that much unless we're going to make a shit ton of threes, and that just didn't happen. So, I would say, I would call what you're talking about on threes like a slow close. Like, you know what I mean? Where you have 2 seconds basically to think about what you're going to be doing with the ball. And the first option is looking great for a 3, even though it's the worst decision that you could make for the offense at the time.
Yep.
I think it's a really interesting take on how to manipulate time of possession in a shot clock game. Because shot clock's 30 seconds, right? Like in football, there is no like set clock. Like you could have the ball for an entire half if you wanted to. You just got to make sure you're running the play clock right. Basketball, you have to give the ball back. But if you can force the offense to give you the ball back and make that, because the thing in basketball is the same guys play offense and defense. So if I can make your good offensive guys do the thing that they're probably not as good at, like in Milan's case, like Milan's a better offensive player than he is a defensive player, I would say. But if I can make him play defense, I'd love to see what the statistics are if there is an advanced analytics to this, because there is something there. But if you could see the time of possession that Kansas had the ball on offense versus how much time we had the ball in the first half, I'd love to see what that was. Because I'd bet it'd probably be like a 60-40 to even 70-30 split for Kansas.
Just to jump in, I found what I was looking for: 13 points off turnovers for Kansas in the first half.
That matters when you're down by 19 at halftime or 21.
I think the issues start, I think, outside in. Usually you talk about inside out for this team, because if you're leaving guys wide open and you're not worried about Lipsy making 5 threes, why not dig at Jefferson extra hard? And why wouldn't every other team do that? I'm only worried about Milan. Like, our 3-point percentage is inflated by what he's been doing. So that's a number that I'd be curious in. Take away Milan's shooting percentage and look at the rest of the team and see how good we are. because he is shooting it. He was coming in 55%. I'm sure that's lower now, but
There was a back-to-back possession, and I want to say the second half, Peterson scored on Torrey, talked some mad shit on him all the way down the court, and Torrey started shaking his head like, yeah, let's do this. Like, respectable. I'm losing, but I'm not giving up. Like, my team's losing, but sure, let's go at this. And then Peterson just sagged off of him, stole the ball from Jefferson, and they went down. And I believe they scored, but I don't think Peterson did. But I was just like, when you have a guy with so much talent like Peterson, who's been struggling recently, and then he just so much confidence off of just 2 possessions like that at home, like that was such a key point in the game, because it just pointed out, like, yeah, our true freshman's really good at defense, but you can also sag off, like, because he did have a really good back cut in the first, I want to say 6 to 8 possessions of the game, but he fumbled in and went out of bounds. Thank goodness it was a dead ball turnover, but still a turnover nevertheless. But like, it was a good cut. He just needs to get better at that.
Let's talk about
I like this comment here from Thomas Schlink here. There was an emphasis on playing inside out, and I think if we would have probably tried to get the guards more downhill, that would have worked. But when we did get the guards downhill, Badunga was sent into the front row. So I think that was our ability to counter in game. So that's interesting to see how shot blocking can affect a game.
Yeah, Thomas, I think we're saying the same thing. I'm just doing a really poor job of labeling it.
Do we have any positives? Do we have any positives from this game? I have a couple.
We cut the lead to 11. And it sounds stupid to say out loud, because I said the same thing at work, and my boss, who's a KU fan, clowned me for it. Because he's like, oh, you cut the lead to 11 from 25. Cool. I'm like, low key in that spot, obviously you're going to get a bump coming out of the halftime with whoever coach it is, not just odds. You're going to get a 6-0 bump if you're a real basketball team. We got a little more than that. We made some really good plays. Bateman played phenomenal in the second half. Heisey played a really good game overall as well. Taman going downhill, like Nate just said, we should have done that at the beginning. We cut the lead to 11 and had an opportunity to get it within 10. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. Trey White on the other end hit a 3 in transition. It is what it is. But I feel like that's a positive.
So my positive, and this is going to be a total spin zone here. My positive was I was curious after this game, for as good of a team as Iowa State has been so far this year, currently ranked number 2, that will change, whatever. I was curious if this impacted our national championship, like qualification or trends, right? Basically, I wanted to see if any of our past national championship winners have taken a fat L as bad as we have. Like, is there a qualifier to say no national champion in the last 10 years has ever lost by more than X? Like that is what I was looking for. Okay. So I went through the list. Every single national champion, I browsed through their game logs to try and see what the worst loss they took, where it was, to who it was, the opponent's Ken Palm rank, and then when it was, because I thought it was curious, like, did they all happen in January? Was it February? Were there some that happened in early March during the conference tournament time? Here's what I found out. Or actually, I will do the first one, and then I'll let you guys guess. Okay, so Florida obviously won last year. They lost by 20 at Tennessee on February 1st. Tennessee was 5 in Ken Palm, I think. Actually, I don't know if this ranking, I think the Ken Palm ranking is at the time, but I'm not totally sure. Anyways,
Tennessee was pretty high last year. That makes sense.
Yeah. So they were 5th. They lost by 20. Okay. UConn from the prior year, how big do you think that I think they only lost like 3 times. How big do you think? You know it. Okay, go ahead.
Put the comment up.
There's two. One is at Creighton, Ashworth Legacy game in 2024. I want to say Creighton won by 20. They also lost at Seton Hall by more than 10.
15. They lost by 15 to Seton Hall.
But Creighton was actually a good team. Yeah, same year. Seton Hall, I think, was a bubble team. Didn't make it. They were close, but I remember those 2 games from the UConn season.
So
if
Creighton,
it wasn't to a Miles Powell Seton Hall team, it was a bad Seton Hall team.
Creighton was 85 to 66. Creighton was 11th at the time, and it was in Omaha.
Dollar beer night.
Was it actually?
Yeah.
So smart. Why don't we have dollar beer night? Oh, right. UConn year one, when they were kind of flying under the radar a little bit, over under 12.5.
Over. And I think
Is it Marquette?
It was Marquette. I
think it was Marquette.
Look at that. Mines are going.
Kolek?
No, at Providence, 61 to 73.
Was that the last year of Ed Cooley?
Yeah, it was before he gave up on the team.
What
So
they were rolling.
At Providence, the first week of January, lost by 12.
I shouldn't say that.
Now, what about Kansas prior year?
2022.
Yep.
That was a really good Kansas team, though. I think that they lost. I think they got absolutely shit kicked by Kentucky at home.
Bang! Nice. Yeah. 62 to 80. Kentucky was 6 in KenPom, lost by 18 the last week in January. So we're getting not quite enough trends, but we're kind of seeing a little bit of data start to flow in. Not necessarily dependent upon month, because I was really wanting to hone in on the mid-January stretch after everyone is really tired after Christmas break. Okay, so then we go to Baylor. I won't make you guys guess this because
at Kansas, I knew it.
Yeah.
Schuster was right. At Kansas, they lost by 13.
Kansas.
And then Virginia actually, and one of the Villanovas, easily the most impressive because Virginia only lost by 10 at home to Duke one year. And I think Villanova, one of theirs, they only lost by 8. So 8 was the lowest loss margin that I could find. Everything else was above that.
Yeah, I mean, the Villanova team had 5 NBA players starting for them though, between Bridges, DiVincenzo, and Brunson.
Well, which one?
Yeah.
I mean, so one, they obviously got boat raced by Oklahoma in Hawaii in what was that, 2017? Not the Final Four loss that they gave to Oklahoma, which you might remember. So, anyways, all that to say is my good news. The best thing that I took from this game is that still alive.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a good positive. I mean, everybody loses. The last undefeated college team was Bob Knight, and we're probably never going to get one. But I thought, my positive was Bateman. I thought he played really well. He's going to come. It's just a matter of time with him. You could see it. I think everybody's seen it all year. Is he moves like a guy who should probably end up playing 20 minutes at some point in his career. I think 20 minutes is going to be really soon. That might end up being 30 minutes, but his attacking the basket and his ability to shoot threes, I thought that was pretty nice. I mean, he had a really quick trigger on the one in transition in the second half where he pulled from what felt like the logo. So that was nice to see. But
yeah,
this is big too. This is big.
Yeah, so Galactic side,
1-3 Kansas.
Yeah.
1-3 Kansas, and Bill Self's not going to let them not walk. They will run until they die if that team was not losing.
Yeah, so Galactic Sai says one road game against a desperate KU team does not define a season. We'll be fine. I agree, Galactic Sai. I agree. I think my concern is all the games that you want next, besides your Big Four and the Big 12, at Cincinnati with the way that our offenses looked against their defense, terrifies me. I'm
with you. And Wes Miller, I'm anti-Wes Miller. I think he's a very bad college basketball coach.
So are their fans.
This is also probably the most talented team they've had under him. So it just goes to show a little bit. And they also have a very good shot blocker down low who isn't as good as Flory, but they have the ability to mess with us on offense for a little bit if we play like we have in the past couple games.
How do they lose to Eastern Michigan?
They're in every game. They were in it with Houston all the way, even under the media timeout at the under 4. But then also the Wes Miller effect happens. They were up 20 plus against Colorado. Wes Miller stepped in, became a 5-point game.
Did they actually do the brown paper bag thing last night?
I didn't see any. It was on a quad box, so I wasn't too locked in. But
I didn't see.
They brown paper bag their coach.
Yeah, I think their Barstool account for the university was everybody come out and show how disappointed we are. Bring a brown paper sack.
Yeah,
Tough
because
vibes.
that makes it better. Like,
Yeah.
the team really wants to show up to practice at 8 a.m. the next day for lift.
See, now that would have been really cool if they would have lost and there were people wearing those, because then they're like, oh, now we got Iowa State coming to town. We should probably just give up. That would have been cool.
They have a hell of a stretch coming up here. Like, you get us, and then you get to do the dreaded Arizona road trip to come back and then go down to Houston.
Yeah, that's mean.
That's brutal. Yeah, your home game's Baylor.
What else from Kansas? What'd you notice in the building, Thom? Any notable interactions with anyone?
Bill Self and TJ are like best friends. TJ a little firm on the shoulder grabs though. I feel like that would hurt. Yeah. Our role players played very well, and I feel like if you say, like, when Heisey, let me restart. When Heisey and Bateman are your best players, you're probably not going to win the game. But when Heisey and Bateman are in the top 5 of your best players, you won the game. And whether it's on the road or in March Madness, your role players are a pretty big deal, especially with foul trouble and how the games go and matchups. And you need a little spark, whether it's 6 points, whether it's a couple offensive rebounds. Heisey and Bateman played really well with Fog Allen. And I know Bateman went off after the under 4 media, where I really didn't take anything from that. But before that, he still played well. Same with Heisey. And I want to start pushing the narrative that if we can be okay on the boards, going small with Jefferson at the 5, Heisey needs to play the 4. Because there's times on offense, whether it's Torrey or Dom Nelson, who will eventually lose minutes to Bateman if he keeps playing like this, where our offense is just a wreck because we have a guy on the floor that just can't shoot. And as of now, the cutting isn't there to open up lanes as well. It's become a problem. You saw it with Jefferson in the post, everybody going after him. When Lipsey's not hitting his threes, it gets just that much worse. If you can play Heisey at the 4 and he can handle his own, or Milan at the 4, Heisey at the 3, however that would work, along with Taman, and then you have Torrey or Dom Nelson in those spots, that is a very dangerous team, not just for the scoring, but the switching ability on defense as well. And I just want to not push the narrative, I would say, but kind of just, can we just look out for that a little bit? Like, what are your guys' thoughts on that? Do you think that would be a realistic option, like in the stretch?
You're saying play Heisey at the 4?
Heisey or Milan at the 3-4 with Jefferson at the 5, and then you have Lipsey Torrey. Because that lineup.
Well, we do that. We do that.
I would say. And it's less about the lineup as a whole, and it's a little more on the early struggle with Buchanan down low. Not selling any stock with Buchanan. I think the first couple of games in Big 12 play is not easy for anybody transferring in, especially at Fog Allen against Flory. But just I think it's like a lineup to monitor at least, because if you can just be that much more flexible against teams, we just become more difficult to guard.
We do it 9% of the time per KenPom. So our starting 5 is at 18%, and then Heisey as your guard. So our big lineup would be take out Torrey, put in Heisey, same starters, 7. And then 6%, Torrey, Heisey, Milan, Jefferson, Plata. And then you get to the you got one more lineup in between there. And then you get to the small ball lineups. I think that's fine. As long as they can rebound, I have no problem with that.
Because there's just another shooter out there as well.
I would like him. I'd like it if Bateman was the 3 myself.
That was also something I want. Yeah.
If you really want to get nasty with the lineup, like, let's put 3 actual ball handlers on the court and then a 4th at your center, and then we have Milan at the 4. Like, because I like Heisey. I think Heisey's more of like a stick him in the, like, he's going to be a corner offensive player, come off dribble handoffs and back cut. Like, I think his role on this team is going to be like a Sam Hauser on the Celtics. Like, he'll be a good, like, yeah, he'll get you 12 to 15 points every now and then, but I think Bateman just has a higher ceiling right now. And you could like, it's just going to get better with him. Like we know what Heisey is. He's a senior. I think you could like, you put Bateman in that lineup, it gets you an extra threat in terms of dribbling and driving that I think you don't have with other players on the court. Like, I don't think you get that out of Nelson either, because Nelson doesn't have the shooting. So,
or the defense, or the free throw shooting. But he can get to the rim anytime he wants, though. At literally any time, which is crazy because I have never seen a guy so one-dimensionally good at one thing and so – you know what I mean? Right?
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy because you look at the one thing he does and you're like, elite. Gets to the rack whenever he wants. Everything else. What else about Kansas?
I thought Trey White was impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing we were going to do about that. Pearson is as advertised, that he will be a top 2 to 3 pick in the NBA draft, depending on who ends up with the first pick. I think it's him or Devansa. We're going to see him later. I don't want to see him later personally, but we're going to have to, because if Peterson gives us problems, I only worry about what a bigger guy is going to do to us, who has probably a better skill set. So, no, they have top A-list talent. Trey White played with a kid that I grew up with, who we were at this top 250 camp together, and a certain player didn't make the top 50 of that game. And the coach who talked to us before said there was another player who didn't make the top 50 of that game. It was Russell Westbrook. The player who missed the top 50 in that camp was Tyrese Halliburton. I thought that was absolutely insane that he wasn't a top 50 player in the Midwest as a sophomore in high school. But turns out that they were very wrong. So I just thought that was fun to bring up, that there's a small world. Trey White is connected in that camp because, he was there too.
No kidding. So it was a huge camp and then they whittled it down towards the end. How does that work?
So you're playing games like all day. So we were playing at this, it was like the Chicago White Sox Boys and Girls Club in Chicago is where they had it, because they had enough courts it was like 8 courts. And they were playing, there's all these guys. I mean, Tyler Hero was there. I don't know if you guys, I had to guard Jeremiah Robinson Earl there. That was my matchup. That was really fun. He's 2 years younger than me, so like that was great. But yeah, they separated all. There's probably 12, 15 teams, and then they whittled it down at the end, and there was a little politics involved. But it was kind of crazy that like you could tell Tyrese is one of the better players at this camp. And yeah, nope, not top 50.
Why were you not included?
I was happy to be top 250, dude. I knew what I was like. Listen, they saw Jeremiah Robinson Earl on me, and they're like, "Man, Villanova and OKC got to get this guy. The guy guarding him, get him the fuck out of here."
He's making him work.
Yeah.
That's right. Peterson, I agree. If you had to guess, how many points did he have? Did either of you know?
I know, so I'm not going to guess. But
yeah, so Tom, he had 16.
Oh.
He had 16. So
it wasn't an efficient night, though. It was not an efficient night for him, like 6 of 15.
6 of 15, yeah. But I would have said the reason why he feels like an NBA player is because I would have told you that he had 10 points, something like that. But he gets it so easily. Like, that's elite talent, especially when you watch the NBA. It's easier on TV because they constantly tell you how many points guys have. When you actually go and watch a game and your eyes aren't constantly going up to the scoreboard, and you're just like, how many points does Jokic have? And you're like, oh, I don't know, probably like 15 to 20, and he's got 35. Like, that to me is the sign. Like, they just do it all the freaking time. Peterson kind of had that same vibe on Tuesday night.
Cy-Fan makes a good point. That dunk on Plata would have been very bad. Cy-Fan said, thank God he missed those 2 dunks because, wow, that would have been something. I think he would have had to leave. I think he would have had to go back.
I thought it was bold to even try it, and then it was close.
It was so close too.
In the second one, he just missed it, right? He didn't even.
Yeah, second one he just overdunked it. Like, yeah, he threw it down too hard that it didn't go through the rim.
I was gonna say. So I was talking with a buddy at work about this the other day. I think the Devansa, Peterson, and Boozer trio is super interesting because I think Boozer is obviously the best college player because I think of his size, like he can bully people a little more than the other two can. DeBonsa, I think, is probably the best athlete, but I think Peterson is probably the most skilled.
I think I would agree with that.
Yeah, I think out of the three, I think you're going to be picking Peterson or DeBonsa for the best NBA player. Usually the best college player doesn't translate. I think NBA translates more from high school just because of the way the defense is run, but we've talked about that all the time. Like,
the Boozer's part of he and Jefferson are part of the 6'9" club where you're just like 6'9", 230 or whatever, and you kind of just push people around a little bit. But
was
like
Sean May 6'9", 230, 240 when he played? Or Mark, who was the guy for the North Carolina way back in the day?
Sean May, that's right.
Yeah. Was he kind of in that boat too?
I couldn't tell you. I don't remember. We lost that team though. Second round, 2005. Wayne Morgan 2-3 zone. Can't believe we didn't survive against 2005 North Carolina. Can't believe that. I don't know. Like the Boozer Jefferson comp, I think is super interesting because obviously Boozer's doing more and it's probably better. It's 230 my ass. He was like 330. Yeah, that's probably right. Probably right. I don't know. You're going to find success with any of the three, I think. But I would probably take DeBonsa. But let's see how he continues to do because I feel like his first step ridiculous. Like he gets to the rim more easily than any of the other two.
It feels like he's got like an extension was it Professor Gadget? Like he takes the first step and it's like a cartoon, like it's not real. And he's one dribble from probably half court and he can get to the rim.
Let's talk about the rest of the schedule here real quick. So at Cincinnati on Saturday, then we go back home and get UCF on Tuesday night, and then we go to Oklahoma State, which is interesting because we're done with Oklahoma State before January is even up, which, like, wouldn't you love to have Oklahoma State right in the middle of our hellacious stretch in late February and early March or whatever? Like, come on. Like, we play Oklahoma State twice in the span of 3 weeks, but then we have to do what we have to do at the later part of the schedule, whatever. And then we've got Colorado at home to close things out. Anything less than 4-0 feels like a failure.
I think you extend it all the way to the BYU game. Like, you go all the way down the list. I think there's 9 games before we go on the road to BYU. And I think 8-1 is kind of where you want to be.
Yep.
Because that involves the home games with Houston and Kansas. And I think it's fair to say you expect a loss between home games against Kansas, Houston, and then at Oklahoma State. I would throw in there too.
Yeah,
I was going to yesterday. If we record this yesterday, I would have threw in at Kansas State, but they're beyond dead now. They lost at home to UCF.
UCF's not bad. They're not bad.
They're not bad. They're not. But like Kansas State was favored going into the game for some reason. But
what is beyond dead?
Yeah, good question.
Jerome Tang at Kansas State. That would be the definition. If you looked it up, that's what it would be.
Should just stop at Jerome.
Fucking idiot. He's such a twat. Yeah, I think 8-1, 7-2. That underrated part of our hellacious schedule is we have a 1-day prep for fucking Houston after Kansas, and it's at home. Are you kidding me, Brett? What are we doing in the Big 12 office with this schedule?
Who does Houston play?
It doesn't matter. We have Kansas and 1 day, and then it's Houston. And Taman's married, and it's Valentine's Day we play Houston or Kansas on.
That's a good point. Does that play a factor? Is it better, though, that way? Would you rather play Kansas and then Houston on that following Monday, or have to play Houston, play the game, and then have 1 day to recover and prep for Kansas on that Monday?
I'd rather have Houston first. They get K-State on the 14th at home.
I know I said they're beyond dead, but I might be a K-State guy if they can bully them a little bit, make them tired.
They're going to play their starters for 25 minutes.
Yeah, it's a tough spot.
That's terrible for us.
That's a very tough spot for us. I still think 8-1 is like, if we're a Final Four team, 8-1 is pretty realistic. 7-2, it depends how the 2 losses happen. Because we are good at home, I would expect us to revenge Kansas, and Houston is a big game for seeding. Not to mention this loss, because I wanted to make this point. This loss is like, it stinks. We had a great chance to win there going into the game. Didn't really have a great chance during it. But Arizona plays there, BYU plays there, Houston plays there. The Big 12 championship runs through Fog Allen. Not meaning Kansas is going to win.
Can I just say something real quick? Real quick? Tom, what's the name of the building that Iowa State plays basketball in?
Hilton Coliseum.
And what's the name of Kansas's building?
Fog Allen?
Allen Fieldhouse.
Oh, what?
It's not everyone that says Fog Allen. I just want to be like, guys, it's not.
It's not?
No, dude, it's Allen Fieldhouse.
This is bad. This is bad because I think, as myself, as a big college basketball guy, this is devastating. Why is it called Fog Allen? Who calls it that besides me?
Well, that was
Why
his
is this a
name.
thing in my head?
Brand does Fog Allen the entire time. Like, dude, shut up. It's
John Box.
This is Jake's
John
fault.
John Box got one. James H. Hilton Coliseum.
Yeah.
That is.
Oh my God,
true.
I'm 0 for
That is
2.
true.
Yeah.
I'm retiring.
Yeah. So every time you say, "Oh, it's," I think it's the Fog or it's Allen Fieldhouse.
You ruined my day, Sean. I hope you're happy, man. Hope you're happy.
I mean, it kind of tickles me a little bit.
We're just a freaking sorry bunch. Or NFL teams lose and we just start hating each other.
I don't want to do that to the good people listening to us talk about actual Iowa State stuff. We're not talking about the Steelers. We're not talking about the Packers.
Damn.
Nothing. Fog Allen, these nuts, Matthias. Get out of here. All right. David Braga's here to talk about some women's hoops. Let's get him going. David,
guys, it's not any better than the NFL playoffs. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. So all I'm saying is this is now your second time that you're coming on. And since then, how many games has the women's team won?
Well, oddly enough, Sean, it's funny you ask that. The women's team hasn't won since we became CF After Dark. So it's not me. It's everybody.
All right. That's fair. What's going on?
Yeah, we went to Boulder and lost to another team that we probably should have beat by 15. So 7 of 14 from the free throw line. Not good. We were up 12 in the second quarter and just fell apart. That's as plain as it can be. I'll be honest. I'm kind of just at a 0 right now with this team. I mean, I don't know what it is. I know coaching has been a big kind of topic of discussion, especially this week. You know, you lose 4 in a row. And I know obviously injuries play a part in this with, you know, arguably your second best player, maybe your most versatile player in Addie Brown, and your best on-ball defender in Ariana Jackson being out. And both of them, it sounds like, are not going to be back anytime soon. So if this is what the team looks like without those two guys starting, beats me. It's not great.
Let me ask you, is this, and this is a crazy thing to say, are we getting into fire Fennelly territory? I know it's 3 games. I know it's only 3 games or whatever. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
All things considered.
In the spirit of this week with Harbaugh and Tomlin,
I don't know that you can fire Fennelly. I really don't know that you can. I think there's a very serious discussion about the game has passed him by conversation, and he just kind of needs to accept that. I don't know if that's more the accurate conversation that people need to be having or what, but I mean, I get, and you see it in the Facebook comments there, rebounds. I mean, we got out rebounded by Colorado 46-13 offensive rebounds, we were minus 11, I think, or minus 7.
What was that?
Pause
Time
that
out.
and
30.
what?
replay
No,
what
time
you
out.
just said.
30.
What?
46 to 33 was the rebound. So we got out rebounded by 13.
You got rebounded by 300%.
No, you said
46 to
13.
33. So we got
I
out
thought
rebounded.
you said 46 to 13.
No.
I thought he
We
said
got
13.
out rebounded by
1-3.
13. By 13.
That's still bad with Audie. Though.
Yeah,
Like, what?
and Audie was Audie normally not particularly known for her rebounding. She had 17 points and 15 boards. And the rest of the team had 18 boards. So I don't know. I really don't know where you go from here. I mean, Audie Crook's 7 of 14 from the floor. Teams have been showing her more the double look that Baylor did. And, you know, I said during the game that I almost feel more confident when this team shoots a contested 3 than an open 3. And immediately after I said that, we had 4 straight possessions with a 3, and we hit 2 contested 3s from the corner and missed 2 open 3s from the wing. So I don't know what it is, but this team just doesn't hit. I mean, you know, Jada Williams had the 3 to tie the game against Baylor, but I mean, this team just, for whatever reason, we don't make the big shots when we need them. And you were up 12 in this game in the second quarter with 4 minutes to go in the first half. And you let Colorado get back into it. And then you gave up like a 5-0 run to start the second half. And suddenly the game's tied. And you're just in a dogfight with Colorado's they're not awful. I mean, they're definitely more a defensive team than an offensive team, but that's still a game that you should win by double digits.
Where do you go from here?
I really, Sean, that's a great question. I really don't know. I really don't know. We've switched up the starting lineup. Reese Beatty started the last game against West Virginia, which I thought was not the best decision starting a freshman against that defense, but we switched it up. Reagan Wilson started this game against Colorado and went 0 for 2 from the floor after going 3 for 4 against West Virginia. So I don't know if it's just, you know, Sydney Harris played great. I mean, she was 4 of 8 from the 3-point line. She started 3 of 3 though. So, I mean, it just kind of tailed off, and you could say that part of that's the height and the altitude in Colorado, but I don't know that's gonna fly with a lot of people.
So from a Big 12 perspective, tell me if this is wrong. My understanding is that's top heavy, right? You've got a really good TCU team. Iowa State was supposed to be really good, and then Baylor's obviously good. But beyond that, I think you were saying last week that it's pretty middle to bottom is pretty.
Texas Tech is very much overperforming right now. They're 17-0 or 19-0. Sorry. They look really good. Texas Tech looks really good. TCU obviously really good. Baylor, very physical team. But I mean, other than that, those are your 3 ranked teams right now. Oklahoma State can score, but they don't play a lot of defense. West Virginia plays a lot of defense, but doesn't really score as much. And those teams are kind of, those 2 teams should be tournament teams. So, I mean, you should get at least those 5. You'd like to think Iowa State can turn it around and make the tournament, but honestly, at this point, I really don't know, because you've lost games to Cincinnati and Colorado that you should have won going away, really. And, you know, you've got really no timetable on 2 of your 4 best players coming back. So,
I will say, as long as Texas Tech doesn't have to play Oregon, they should be fine.
David, speaking of Tech, how much are they oil money merchants, or is this just a good team?
I don't think their women's basketball is oil money. I think they actually just have a good team. They've got 2 they've got 2 former Iowa Staters on that roster, and Jalen Bristow and Danae Fritz.
Oh, Danae's still playing? Nice.
Yeah, Danae's still playing.
That's crazy, because I've been out of college for 4 years. She was at Iowa State when I was there.
So
whoa.
David, to go back to Bill, he did this a couple years ago when I worked the girls' games for the Cyclones TV. I noticed it a lot, and we would always talk about it. Does he do it less now? When somebody makes a mistake, whether how small or big it is, he yanks them immediately from the game. Does he still do that?
He does it a little bit. I think players kind of have a longer leash now, but there is definitely that, you know, it's time to sit down for a minute.
What are your thoughts on that? Do you like that?
I think you got to let the player figure it out. Because, I mean, even if they mess something up, they're not going to learn how to get any better if you just pull them and set them right away.
Yeah, I'm with you 100% because I worked almost every women's game, and it was mostly during the couple years when we were competing right before Audi and then 1 year of Audi. He just would yank them immediately, and like all of a sudden we're just, hey, the next minute or two, offense is going to be completely different. We just lost everything we had going for us because somebody made one bad cut and now they're on the bench. Like, I just don't get that. And I think it goes to your point that you mentioned, has the game passed him by? Because that works in the 90s all the time, early 2000s, sure. Now, when a lot of the games are determined by the possessions you're having and how many times you're being able to score, like, it's pretty frustrating.
Yeah. And I mean, to kind of go with that, it feels like, especially a couple of years ago, like you're mentioning, it didn't feel like the players got a chance to gel because it was just constantly you're in, you're out, you're in, you're out, you're in, you're out. And I just don't think that works with this team now, especially with Addie Brown and Ariana Jackson out. Because you've got now two people that you've got to replace in the starting lineup. And so Sydney Harris has pretty much solidified herself as one of those two starters. And then you're going back and forth. Is it going to be Reagan Wilson? Is it going to be Elisa Williams? Is it going to be Eiley Tanky? Is it going to be Reese Beatty? Is it going to be Pollock? Who's it going to be that's going to fill that fifth spot? And I don't know what their practice regiment looks like, but when you're in the game and you're just constantly flipping back and forth, who's in, who's out, who's in, who's out, you don't give anybody a chance to set up anything with the people that are on the floor. And that's kind of been my issue with that. Now, he has gone down a little bit with that. But then you look at, Colorado, 4 of your 5 starters played 33 minutes or more. And Colorado is maybe the one place that you'd think that would work because you've got to give people a rest in the altitude because you're not used to that. And all of a sudden, Sydney Harris and Audie Crooks are playing 37 minutes. And you're like, what are we doing?
I didn't watch. I've seen the Iowa game this year, but that's basically it. I do know that playing Audie 37 minutes seems a little bit overzealous.
Yeah, which it's odd because I kind of thought that this game against Colorado was her best game defensively. And maybe that was kind of a wake-up call from the lowlights videos that have been going around. But she can't be 7 of 14 from the floor. That's not going to work. And
She operates under a different set of circumstances than everyone. Like 50%, like that's not good enough.
No.
14 shots is a problem. Like usually she has like 25.
Yeah. Well, and that kind of goes back to Baylor kind of showed that look of they were going to double, and Colorado did a little bit of that. But they shot fine from 3. I mean, they were 11 of 27 from 3, but you can't have Audie go 7 of 14 from the floor, and you can't go 7 of 14 from the free throw line. I mean, there's your buckle up.
So expectations wise going forward, I'm assuming you don't actually mean this, but I do want to circle back to what you said about them potentially not being a tournament team. Let's revisit that.
They have got to turn this thing around. Obviously that's very, thanks for the Captain Obvious. But yeah,
good. Thanks for listening. Good night.
Yeah, great analysis. But I mean, you're sitting at 2-4 right now. You have one good win in Iowa. You had that neutral site win against Indiana, which goes up and down depending on how Indiana does. Currently, Indiana, by the way, second worst team in the Big Ten. So they've not won a conference game. So really not looking like too great of a win there. So really, again, you're just kind of back in the same situation that you were last year where you really don't have a lot of opportunities to make up ground, and you're currently losing to teams that you shouldn't be losing to. So you've got an easy schedule, but we kind of talked about it last week. That's kind of a double-edged sword where when you drop a game like Colorado or Cincinnati or even West Virginia is good, but losing that game at home by double digits isn't great. You don't have a lot of opportunities to say, hey, now we beat a Baylor, we beat a TCU, or, we beat a, whoever, Texas Tech. You don't have a lot of those opportunities, and you're sitting at 2-4 in the conference right now. And again, you don't have a timetable on 2 of your 4 best players. So it's kind of just somebody's got to figure it out. I don't know if it starts with coaching and then the players got to execute to me. And right now you're kind of in a nowhere zone. You're in the twilight zone right now.
What a super depressing end that we're getting to here.
Yeah,
It's every time.
God, I
David.
wish
It's
I
every
could give you
time.
something good. I really wish I could give you something better. But I mean, right now that's kind of just what it is. I mean, there's not, again, you've got opportunities to string wins together looking at your schedule. You've got opportunities because you've got, at Oklahoma State, that's a team that you can score against. You're going to have to play some defense against Oklahoma State, but that's a team you can score against. You got Cincinnati and Arizona at home. Those are two of the bottom 5 teams in the Big 12 right now. Then you go at Texas Tech. So this next 4-game stretch, this is your opportunity to get some wins together. You got 2 big opportunities on the road, and you got 2 hopefully should be wins at home. And all of a sudden you're right back at 18-4, and you've started to turn your season around. Now I don't think they'll go 4-0. Like I said, I haven't given up on the season, but I've kind of just accepted, hey, this team needs to suck it up and start making some baskets.
I don't want to give up on the season, but we suck right now.
Yeah, Sean, that's kind of what it is. I wish, like I said, I wish I could give you more right now, but it always starts with Baylor. It always starts with Baylor.
Starts with Kansas too on the men's side.
Yeah.
Boys, anything else before we go? Tom, what
I
does
got
your
nothing.
mustache have to say?
Go 8-1 the next 9 games.
Okay, David.
Andrew said it in the Facebook, 2-2. Let's start there. Let's get those 2 home wins. Start with something.
Nate, close us out.
Everything stinks. Nothing's real. Rethink your life. See you, everyone.
That was like a Packers 5-second right there.
All right, everyone. Catch you next time. We'll be back next Thursday. Until then, take care. As always, go Cyclones.
Go Cyclones.